Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Autumn and I'm here to read some Am I the A-Holes? So if you want to join, if you want to put your opinions in, come right along. We're just going to get straight into it. So, first one. Am I the a-hole for refusing to help my husband clean for guests? Okay. I run a home-based daycare for 12 hours a day. This requires a lot of cleaning all day long to keep the daycare part of the house clean, along with cooking and playing with children. So by the end of the day, I'm exhausted and have very little energy to clean upstairs, which is the private part of the house that only my family and our guests use. Because of that, I don't particularly enjoy having guests over because I have to rush to get everything clean upstairs, too. Whenever a friend or family member of mine is visiting, my husband dramatically complains that I'm doing too much and that I shouldn't be rushing to clean the house because they're just your friends. They don't care. They do not care. Okay. I've lost my place. Oh, he'll refuse to help because you're just stressing yourself out for no reason, is what he says. Well, my husband announced on Friday that he was having friends over Saturday morning. I said that I had a really stressful week, so I wasn't feeling up to guests, and he insisted that it was his guests and not my problem. Okay, then it's not your problem. It's not your problem to clean, you know? Okay. Suddenly, the private space isn't clean enough, and he started trying to assign me to our kids' spaces to clean while he was waiting to switch the laundry. Bruh. I.e., playing video games until the laundry was done. I refused. I told him, "Oh, don't worry, your friends won't judge," and took the kids and myself out for a movie. He said I was being petty and that I should have at least made the kids help like they helped me. My mother says I should have helped, and I probably embarrassed him because he was not able to get things cleaned enough on his own. I think he's a grown-ass man and should figure it out. Am I the a-hole? I also think he's a grown-ass man and should figure it out. I don't think you're the a-hole, especially because you just said you don't want guests. And especially the comment he made about they're not your guests, so don't worry about it. And you taking things too seriously when you're cleaning up. So no, I don't think you're the a-hole at all. At all. A comment says, waiting to switch the laundry is a new chore I haven't heard of. What a clever husband to be able to multitask while doing such an important job. Yeah. Yes. I'm trying to find a comment. Next task, waiting for the dirty dishes to soak. Yeah, so it seems like people are just coming at the dude. Yeah, you're not the a-hole. I think you should get over it. Am I the a-hole for asking my boyfriend to get annually STD tested? Are you guys sleeping with other people annually? Okay. I, female 18, and my partner, male 19, have been dating for about a year and a half now. He had a checkup today and I asked if he got tested for STDs, which he said no, which I found weird since I get checked annually. He was annoyed because he thought I was saying he was cheating, but when I tried to explain to him that it's truly just for peace of mind, he just walked away and didn't listen. He had told me he was tested a while back and I had never seen any results. Really quick, if you guys have been together for a year and a half, or like get tested before you do anything, like the very beginning of a relationship, and if you're clean and you guys aren't cheating or you don't think he's cheating, why would you need to get tested again? If you guys both don't have an STD, you're not going to get one unless you go, or maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I don't know if you can sit on the toilet and in a public restroom. I don't know. Okay. You know what? Thinking about that, maybe. So let me just read this, okay? I truly don't believe he has an STD, but he has been intimate in the past, so anything is possible. Well, yeah, sure. That's why you should get tested before. Okay. I'm going to read and stop assuming things. I asked him why he wouldn't want to, and he said it was because he is scared something would come up and I would leave him, and honestly, that scared me. Oh, yeah, it kind of seems like he does have something and he knows about it and he's hiding it. Why be guilty? I told him that if that was the case, I would probably already have it since he has refused to test. And furthermore, I stated I probably would still wouldn't leave him because I see a future with him. Later on, I asked if he would, and he said that it's just a lot of unnecessary time wasting, and I followed that up by asking if my health wasn't important to him. I told him how it's standard to get tested even when you're with the same person for a long time, since anything is possible, and most people would agree with me. Then he says how people would say I should just get a pap smear, but I'm not willing to. Which is true, but I fear they are completely different. I'm not going to give him cancer, but he can give me an STD. Yeah, that's ridiculous. So am I the a-hole for asking this of him? Update. I just talked to him and he said he has actually never been tested before. Update 2. I've noticed this post has gotten a lot of mixed opinions and a lot of attention. I want to add a few things. When we got together, he told me he had never been sexually active before. Oh. A year into the relationship, he told me that was a lie and he had unprotected sex in the past. He has never been tested before, and I truly just want him to get tested at least once. That's fair. I feel like that's fair. I have never been recommended a pap smear by a provider. Okay. I get STD checked at least once a year, urine and blood. I have an HPV vaccine. I have no idea. I'm going straight to the comments. I have no idea what to say, to be honest. Oh, some comment just said, get a pap smear. They aren't as scary as you think, and they are drastically improve your chances. Cervical cancer symptoms can often present really late, and it can easily spread to other areas. Okay, yeah, but this isn't about that. We're not really talking about that. Okay, and then, so it seems kind of like people are just worried about her getting a pap smear. Comment says, yeah, this stuck out to me too. OP for being worried about checking your health annually. You're neglecting a pretty standard annual test here. They're not that bad, a bit awkward and uncomfortable. Okay. I just want to know about the story though. Okay, literally only people are talking about the pap smear. All right. Well, I guess we'll never know. I guess we'll never know what people think. We will not know. So we got a little crazy one. This one says, am I the a-hole for saying my boyfriend's schmeckle is tiny in front of his family? I don't know. Recently, my boyfriend, 47 male, and I, 29 female, little bit of an age gap, but that is fine. You're pretty old. 27's whatever. Do what you will. Went to a friend's wedding. Both of us were pretty drunk at the reception, as were most of our friends and family. At one point, my boyfriend and I were at separate tables talking to people, and one of his friends came over to me saying I need to come get my man because he's acting like an idiot and saying stupid shit. I told him that's pretty par for the course when he's drinking and just to cut him off from having any more. His friend was laughing about this, so I didn't take it seriously. Not long after that, we end up migrating to a larger group, and I see my boyfriend. He's stopped drinking, but he's still evidently hammered. They're on the topic of sex positions for whatever reason, and he's saying very proudly how much I love doggy style and physically making the motions and overall making me super uncomfortable. I told him quietly to cut the shit and stop talking about that. Pretty fair. Of course, he didn't. He stopped for maybe 10 minutes before getting back into talking about our sex life. This time to announce to all of our friends that I love anal. Wow. But by this point, he was talking loudly enough that his family, including his parents and brothers, could hear us at the next table over. My boyfriend and I have done anal a few times, but I don't really care for it at all. It's just something I do for him. And also, I don't think other people need to know. If you don't want other people to know, it doesn't matter what you do. Just if you don't want people to know, it's kind of rude that he's just blasting, putting you on blast. You know what I'm saying? Okay. This time he shakes me by the shoulders and again, practically yelling, saying, "You love it up the ass." Damn. You like the pain of it, don't you? What is he talking about? He's being kind of weird in front of everybody. That seems a little aggressive, doesn't it? Does it just me? Seems a little aggressive. Naturally, I'm fucking mortified. I say the first thing that comes to my mind, which is, it doesn't hurt when your dick is that fucking tiny. And I leave. That's so funny. Sorry, but I think that was well deserved. Even if it was a lie, I think it's deserved. He could have the biggest freaking dick on the planet. And that's so inappropriate of him to just be black. I don't know what to say. Admittedly, I was also drunk and maybe missing out on some details here. But afterwards, my boyfriend was furious with me. He said I embarrassed him in front of the friends and family and was completely out of line. Bruh, I love that they can dish it, but they can't take it. Go fuck yourself, mate. Go fuck yourself. Anywho, he said that it was obvious he was joking before and my comment was deliberate and hurtful. I hate when people say that. It's obviously not the case. I'll concede that I was trying to hurt him with that remark. Yeah, that's totally fine because he was being a dick. And his dick is average sized, just so y'all know. Them, okay? So it wasn't even true. Like I said though, even if it's a lie, he was being a douche. So sometimes you gotta take drastic measures to stop drastic people from being drastic. Drastic. Anyway, but I feel like this was just justified given the circumstances. Am I the a-hole? No, I don't think you're the a-hole. I mean, by itself, I think that's a little risque to just put him down and say that he is this tiny little schmeckle in front of everybody. If it's unprovoked and he wasn't being a total jackass. That's like the definition of jackass, isn't it? I don't know. But no, you're not the a-hole. I think he was being really aggressive, especially when he was saying like, you like the pain. Anyway, it's just rude. Just rude to say that if you're not. So the comment says, so you're dating a 47-year-old alcoholic teenager. Might be time to reevaluate that. Yes. Very true. Very true. Someone else says, this is a legit answer. It's time to drop the dead weight and move on with your life. OP, there's a reason women his own age or closer to it don't want him. Yes. Yep. Oh, do yourself a favor and stop letting him use you, OP. Edit to add, I'm pretty sure at this point, most have seen OP's post history and how he used to babysit her when she was a child. He even acknowledged it. This guy is beyond a walking red flag. Someone needs to lock him in a basement and keep him far away from innocent women and children. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. This guy's... Yeah, how old is he? Oh my gosh, he's almost 50. Yeah, he ain't ever getting better. He's stuck in his ways if he's 50. No judgment, but judgment for him. I'm just saying. God damn. We got another little relationship one. This one says, am I the a-hole for breaking up with my boyfriend after he made a very inappropriate comment to my sister? Probably not. Probably not. Let's rate it. Let's do it. I'm going to start by saying I don't think I'm the a-hole. Yeah. But my now ex-boyfriend claims I have been overreacting and exaggerating. I've been dating this guy for 3 years, and I really thought he was the one. But today, he made me quickly change my mind. I have a half-sister, 16. I am 22. How old is he? We have all the same dad and different moms. And we don't look much alike. 2 years ago, my dad developed a severe form of leukemia, and he passed away with a couple of months. Sorry to say. Sorry to hear. Needless to say, it was the hardest thing my sister and I had to face in life. My sister took it particularly hard. She used to love going to the gym, working out, and she stopped doing so. She also started eating much more junk food and ended up gaining a lot of weight. Today, my boyfriend and I went to my sister's house as her mom had invited us over for lunch. We were eating homemade pizza, and my sister ended up asking her mom if she could have another slice. That's when my boyfriend said, "Are you sure you want another one looking like that?" Oh, what a douchey thing to say. My sister got up from the table and ran to her room. I was in shock, and I wasn't able to tell him anything, nor follow my sister to her room, which I deeply regret. Thankfully, my boyfriend and I don't live together, so before he dropped me off at home, I told him it was over because he can't disrespect my sister like that, especially because he had been there when my dad died and knew how it made both of us feel. I tried to call my sister and she won't answer. I texted her mom to ask if she's okay, and she said she's okay, and she's not mad at me, but she doesn't want to talk to anybody right now. I'm going to go over to her mom's house after she's done with school tomorrow and bring her some flowers. Aw. I know I'm not the one who said anything, but I hope she can forgive me for not stepping up. I was in shock, and I hope she understands. Dang. I honestly don't think that's an overreaction to break up with him for. I think that's a really shitty thing to say. That just shows, like, you can have whatever thoughts you want, keep them to yourself, but to say that out loud is just like a really mean, ugly thing for a human to say to another human. And I don't think it's wrong if you don't want to be with someone like that. That's just like mean and ugly to other people. I don't think you're wrong. Let's read the comments. They said, "Not the a-hole. Good job kicking him to the curb, trying to be there for your sister. If he said that to her, just imagine if something happened to you, like getting pregnant, and if you gained weight or something. He showed his true colors." Yes. Someone else said, "And can you imagine this man being a father to girls? Telling them to watch what they eat all the time, stressing them about looking beautiful? He would instill a sense of self-worth, completely reliant on the way they look, and not who they are. Not the a-hole. OP dropped the trash at the curb." Yes. Yes. He is trash. All right. We got another one that seems very ridiculous. So, am I the a-hole for not stating I was going to the bathroom? Today, my girlfriend and I got into an argument. We were in bed, and we get onto the topic of feeling supported. I say that I haven't always felt this way. She's offended and asks when and how. I refer to a time period in the start of our living together where the relationship felt imbalanced. All this is aside from the point. It reaches a point where we're laying next to each other with long silences and occasional questions or answer, but then contemplative silence for 5 to 10 minutes. This happens again, but she asks if I have anything to add. I take a minute and say no and get up to go to the bathroom. While I'm in there, I hear her talking to the guests' kids that wandered in. We have guests over. Rather than go out to the bathroom while they're talking, I go to shave. She comes in while I'm shaving and stands there staring at me. I ask her, "What is it?" She says that I just left in the middle of the conversation and I should have announced I was going to the bathroom. Obviously, we're not in the best mood or headspace, but I felt like that was fair for me to get up after answering a question, like anything to add, and going to the bathroom without stating I'm going to the bathroom. I'm still in the same bedroom, but she accuses me of walking out mid-conversation. Does anything to add after a long pause not feel like an end statement? I don't know. Am I the a-hole? I kind of think you're the a-hole. I kind of think he's the a-hole. We'll see. Maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like it obviously looks like you're just getting up and walking away, especially given that you guys are like heated a little bit and not in the best headspace. You guys are kind of arguing or like, there's some tension for sure. And for you to just kind of like get up without saying anything, whether it just be like you going to the bathroom, I feel like it's a little petty or at least like just like inconsiderate, not thinking how that could make her feel like you are just getting up and walking away. I feel like the least you could have done is just like, I'm going to the bathroom. Like, it's not a big deal. Just leave, go to the bathroom. But I do feel like you kind of should have said something. I actually do think you're the a-hole. I'm very, very curious to see what the comment says. Yes. Okay. Comment says, I mean, it is rude to get up in the middle of a conversation without even explaining what you're running off to do. Agreed. Does anything to add after a long pause not feel like an end statement? I don't know the tone, I guess, but this feels harsh and makes getting up and leaving seem even worse to me. It also is not a great that you're having arguments with guests over. Yeah, I agree. Like, it makes it worse that you just got up to not say anything. Because you guys are obviously, there's tension. Okay. Comment says, I don't know if I'd go as far as calling you an asshole, but you were having an intense conversation with your partner and you up and left without explanation. I get why your girlfriend is upset. Poor communication all around. Yes. Yes. Okay. Someone else quoted the little, does anything to add after a long pause not feel like an end statement? Which I don't really feel like it's an ending statement. You're kind of asking to continue the conversation. Anyway, I'm just going to focus on this bit because frankly, this whole part is so stupid. Why are you talking to the internet instead of your girlfriend? Are you going to show her this post to prove that you weren't an asshole even without addressing your actual question? The fact that you are posting this here interaction makes you the a-hole. If this ain't engagement bait, you're an asshole and a moron. Okay. Anyway, but back on track. Same comment. When someone asks if you have anything to add, they are looking for your feedback. Saying no and walking away is not the sort of feedback you give to someone you love, who is trying to discuss serious matters with you. What the other person is doing with this question is seeing how invested you are in finding a resolution and giving you an opportunity to show it. Your reaction shows you are not invested in finding a resolution. If you aren't invested in resolving problems with the relationship is better off ending for both parties. Damn. Yeah, you're kind of the a-hole. Anyways, that's all I'm going to do for today, but yeah. Some people do really just be being the a-holes, you know? But don't be like that. And I'll try not to be like that either. Cool. So anyways, I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.